right, this one's pretty simple. Okay, this one's about adding and subtracting, multiplying and dividing decimal numbers. Okay,
wow.
So it should be review. Okay, but a lot of times Saxon or even just math can trick you up. Okay, and so let's look at this example. 3.6 plus 0.36 plus 36. Okay? Now, all of these have the same numbers in it, but they all have different decimal places. Okay? This one is in the middle of 3 and 6. This one's before the 36. And this one, even though you cannot see it, where is the decimal? Always after the number. Even if you don't see it, it's always at the end. Okay, when we are adding decimals, what is the most important thing you remember?
Line up your decimals.
To line up your decimals. So that's what we're going to do. 3.6, 0.36, and then 36 point. Okay, so I've lined up my decimals. Okay, and it's very important in math that you keep everything lined up real well, because a lot of times people will put down numbers and they'll all be squished together and you'll actually add a wrong row. Do you know what I mean by that? And so, here's what I'm going to do. What should I do with all these missing spaces?
Add a 0.
I would add zeros. It just helps make things less complicated.
Well, you didn't have to put zeros in there.
And we're going to make it plus. Okay, because that's what we're doing. And then you just add each row, okay, and then bring your decimal down. All right, so I'm not going to answer that. It's pretty simple. You know how to add.
39.96.
39.96. Thank you very much, Lane. All right. Now, if you see, let's do this one because it can get confusing. Okay. It needed to be up against the wall. Okay. So let's say, sorry about that. So let's say we had 0.1 plus 0.2 plus 0.3 plus 0.4. Okay. Now, what happens when I start adding these all up? What do I end up getting?
10.
10. Okay, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You do it just like normal. You bring your 0 and add a 1 here, and then add up these and bring it down. Then you just bring down your decimal. So our answer actually ends up being 1.0, even though we said 10, because of where the decimals are placed. Everybody got it? Okay, let's do a subtraction one. Okay, real quick. Everybody write down 12.3, okay, minus 4.567, okay? Again, what's the most important rule when you're adding or subtracting decimals? That you line them up. Very good. So, 12.3 minus 4.567. All right. There's a problem. I actually was working on this with my son yesterday. Not Isaac, he lied. Okay? What do I need to do here? What needs to fill this in? Yes, you have to have something at the top to take away from. Okay? Or otherwise it won't work. So, we're going to go in and fill these in with zeros. Okay? But that doesn't mean you just bring down this 6 and that 7. Which a lot of times some people think that's what you're supposed to do. You can't do whatever. Okay? This isn't adding them. This is subtracting them. So, you would ask yourself, can I take away 7 from none? No, clearly not. So we need to go with this one. Still I can't, okay? And so you would just keep on doing just like normal in your subtraction, but you have to add your zeros up there, okay? Now I'm not going to subtract these because you know how to subtract. So then what do we do with the decimal? Bring it down. Got it? Okay? Everybody good? All right. The next one. 5 minus 4.32. Who would like to do this one on the board for me?
Oh.
Bailey. Watch the camera. There you go. Thank you. All right. If you want to work this on your paper, you can, and then see if you and Bailey get it right.
Very nice.
She did a great job lining everything up.
Are you going to have another one where people can go up? Because I want to go up. Oh, you never really do that. Okay, got the answer.
All right. Look at this. It's so easy to make a mistake in math. Yes. Did everybody get 68 cents? Thank you, Bailey.
Yeah.
You should have gotten
I got
68 cents.
Oh, yeah, I messed
68 cents. Okay. So what she did is had 5.00, okay, and both the zeros she had to have up here. Even though it just said 5, remember, at the end of every number is a decimal. Got it? Okay, so let's move on to the next one. All right, so again, what's the most important rule when you're adding and subtracting decimals? Line up the decimals. What if it doesn't have a decimal? Where is it found? Always at the end of a number. Okay, now let's do multiplying and dividing. First, let's start with multiplying decimals. Okay, first of all, how would I make this fraction into a decimal? Does anybody remember from previous lessons?
You line it up behind the decimal where its place value is.
Yes. Okay, so what would it be right here?
0.3.
0.3. Okay, because this is in tenths, we're going to go decimal, and this would be the tenths spot. So it's 3/10, so I'm going to put 3 in the tenth spot. Very good. All right, and so it says to multiply 3/10 times 7/10. Okay, so that's what that would look like. Okay, do we line up decimals multiplying and dividing?
No.
No, you line up numbers. Doesn't matter where the decimal is. Okay, this one happens to be you're going to line up the decimals even though we're not trying to. Okay, but watch what happens. 0.3 times 0.7. Well, what do we know that 7 times 3 is? 21. Okay, who knows where I'm supposed to put my decimal? Yes, Claire?
You count how many numbers are behind the decimal.
You're exactly right. Okay? So we look at each of our decimals and we count how many spots there are after the decimal. There's one here and one here, so that makes 2. Okay? And then you always start at the right because that's where the decimal number is always in the beginning. And then we're going to move 2 spots to the left. Okay? So our answer would be 0.21. Got it? All right. Come on up, Gracie.
Oh, yeah.
Gracie's going to do one for us.
us.
Okay, we'll see. I'll see how much time, how much more I have. Okay. This one's going to be a little bit more difficult. What does it mean when you see numbers in parentheses?
You times it.
It means you multiply them. Very good. Okay? So anytime you see 2 numbers next to each other and they're in parentheses, you're going to multiply them.
Okay.
All right.
Ready?
Yep. Do this on your paper. See what you get. Oh, check that out.
I know.
Now,
Yeah?
you wrote 24 and it's 23.
That's on me.
Oh, that's what I put too.
I was just testing you guys. Right? Right?
No, what is she doing incorrect?
Wow, Gracie.
Not supposed to line up decimals. You're supposed to line up numbers. Okay, so you line up ones in the one spot, tens in the tens. Actually, that's not even accurate because that would be the decimals. You line up the numbers like this. So this is what it would look like. 0.23 times 0.4. See how I did that?
Oh, I knew that.
All right, let's see you do it.
I was testing you guys.
I got the answer. The right.
Okay, wait.
Yes, very good, Lane. How you doing back there, Brooklyn? You got it? Grace, how'd you do?
I'm doing
Beautiful.
I'm trying, of course.
Oh, I thought you were actually doing the math.
Yes, you're doing great.
It doesn't have to.
Yes, great job.
Oh, wait, I want to.
Great job. All right, Gracie got .092. Thank you, Gracie. Okay, as you can see, once she added everything, here's what she got, 0092, okay? Girls, I don't want to have to split you, okay? Now, the next question I asked myself is where did the decimal go down here? And she counted 1, 2, 3. 3 spots after the decimal, so she goes 1, 2, 3. And that's where you're going to put the decimal. Has everybody got it? Okay. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, now let's do division. Okay, everybody feel like they understand the multiplication ones? Do I line up decimals?
No.
No, you do not. You just line up numbers, just like a normal problem. Okay, now divide 3.425 divided by 5. Okay. What is the most important thing we remember about dividing with decimals? What's the first thing I'm going to do? I'm going to go in and put my decimal that's right here, I'm going to move it up. That way, I can't tell you how many times people forget to put the decimal in the answer, and guess what? I have to go, wrong, minus a half, because you didn't put the decimal in the problem. Okay? So, first step is to go on and take the decimal that's right there and you just move it up. And then you just pretend like there is no decimal and you work the problem like normal in here. Okay? So I would go 5 goes into 34 6 times. 5 goes into 42 8 times. 5 goes into 25 5 times. Okay? So what I would end up getting is 0.685. Everybody understand? All right. Now, Lane, come on up.
I have a question.
This is our last one. Yes.
Why are we having the class face this way?
Miss Brizendine preferred it this way, and I really don't care. It doesn't matter to me. She's just trying it.
Question.
Okay, I want you to do this one.
Yeah.
0.0144. 0.0144. All right. Let everybody see that. Lane's going to show you the problem. I want y'all to try that on your own. Okay? First step is what? Move the decimal up. Okay. This one's a little bit harder. See if Lane remembers what to do. Yes, so far right, Lane. Okay, yes. Great job. No worries. Okay. Now, what made this one harder?
There's so many zeros.
So many zeros, but not only that, we didn't start the problem until right here with the 14. Okay? Thank you. All right, have a seat, Lane. What I want y'all to see is that we didn't start the problem until right here. Now, here's what I want you to see. Okay, I'm going to show you something. Okay, I'm going to go in and bring my decimal up. Okay. Right here, we went 8 goes into 14. That's the first spot that we can go 8 goes into something. Okay? It has to go right here. Okay? But if I'm going to be working with 14, I have to put the number above 14. The 4 on the 14. Does everybody see that? Because I'm not working with the 1. I'm working with 1 and 4. So I have to put that number right there. 8 will go into 14 how many times? 1. Now, so I want you to see what happens. Okay, I'm not going to put zeros in yet. So 8 times 1 is 8. I subtract that and I get a 6. I bring down my 4, and then I say 8 goes into 64 8 times. 8 times 8 is 64, and that finishes it out. Okay, but here's the problem. Okay, here's my decimal, and I have one spot here and one spot here. I have to put zeros in there. Okay, otherwise the answer would be 0.18. And that's not the correct answer. Okay? This says 18 hundredths. Okay? This one says 18 what? This is tenths, hundredths, thousandths,
10,000.
10,000ths. So the answer, when I fill in my zeros right there, is 18 10,000ths. But if I'd have just said 18 and not put in extra zeros, it would have been 18 hundredths. And that is the wrong answer. Okay? You would have gotten it completely wrong. Okay? Does everybody understand what you're supposed to do? Okay, last one. Last problem.
Somebody wrote high here.
1.2 divided by 5. Seems absolutely simple, right? Okay, first step is what?
Bring up the decimal.
Bring up my decimal, thank you very much. And now I go, 5 goes into 12 how many times? 5 won't go into 1, so I can't do anything
Twice.
about that.
Twice.
5 goes into 12 twice. Okay, 5 times 2 is 10. Okay, and I get 2 left over. Do I just stop and put
Don't
0.2?
you add a 0? And
Yes, you do. Very good, Lane. Okay, I cannot say 0.2 remainder 2. Nope, doesn't make sense. You cannot do that. What you're supposed to do is you've got to keep going. Anytime you're doing a decimal number, you're going to continue to add. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to add, they're called ending zeros, okay? So what we're going to do is bring down our 0, and then we're going to say 5 goes into 20 4 times. And 5 times 4 is 20, and it ends it out. Okay? So our final answer is 0.24, or 24 hundredths. Okay? However you want to say it. Now, does everybody understand how to do that? Yes. Lane.
Could you say 0.24, or does it have to be 0.24 or 24 hundredths? Could you say 0.24?
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the correct way to say it is 24 hundredths. Okay? Everybody understand? Okay, that is lesson 35. You may turn off the camera.